Well, congratulations, Gina Reinhart. What a fantastic call. $15 million, Netball Australia. You had your chance. You had an amazing sponsorship. And there you went. You went woke. You had to do it. You go woke. You go broke, Rita.
Well, indeed you do, particularly if you're a sport that's been on the brink financially, a sport with limited commercial appeal, and you've got someone like Gina Reinhart who's willing to invest $15 million. And let's be honest, yeah, it's as much a gift or charity as it is an endorsement. She's not going to be selling any more coal overseas because the netballers are wearing her logo. But for them to take this stand, to not have an objection with anything she has said, anything she has done, anything she stands for, but something her father said decades ago, and she is, I mean, I find that astonishing. And this is a woman who is biggest taxpayer in this country. She supports this station.
She's a sponsor of this show and of this station, so we'll just point that out. But James...
But you know, to have a women's sport turn its back on a female investor, a female who has absolutely led the business world...
And not only the business world, Gina Reinhart's sponsorship during the Olympics.
She saved swimming.
She saved swimming.
Volleyball, rowing.
We brought home a swag of golds at the Tokyo Olympics, purely thanks to Gina Reinhart getting behind those swimmers, providing them with salaries. I've spoken to some of them. I've worked with one of them, terrific people, and they are so grateful for what Gina Reinhart has done for them. For netball to turn around, James, and go, you know, as Rita says, some comments from...
Well, I mean, and beyond that, and beyond all the incredible work that Gina Reinhart has done for Australian sport and women's sport in this country, you know, putting all of that to one side, there's also this even bigger issue which we have here, which is all of these sports stars suddenly thinking that they can push, and it just takes one person on a team, because that's what it took with this case with netball, and then suddenly their opinion gets imposed on the entire team, and so the entire team winds up missing out because one person and the entire sport misses out. And you know, it's really so funny because we saw a few weeks ago the case of Andrew Thorburn. He had a private belief in his head which he didn't impose on anybody, but that was deemed too toxic to be near AFL. Here we have somebody else who has a public belief that they're imposing on everybody else on the sport, costing them $15 million, which is hard to come by if you're a sport like netball, and yet she is somehow treated as some sort of principled hero. It doesn't make any sense. We see that the woke religion only runs in one direction.
Well, thank goodness for people like Gina Reinhart actually taking a stance and saying, OK, that's fine, you don't want my money, go away.
But it's happening elsewhere.
It's happening. Cricket, you're going to be talking about Pat Cummins shortly, so we'll go through all that in a second.
But in football, in AFL, Fremantle Dockers have got Woodside as a sponsor, and there's agitation there from some former players, current players,
Winton, the author,
activists and celebrities. And again, I think Ricky Ponting's come out today and said, wait a second, there are consequences to these actions. This is, and for a long time it was consequence-free. You had these sports people taking a knee for BLM, a neo-Marxist, racist organisation that's been... Where's all that money they got? Let's talk about that. But it was consequence-free. All this activism, all this divisive political grandstanding was consequence-free. No more. They're consequences.
But there's a bigger consequence, Rita and Rowan, and this is that. You know, we're hearing this new term, they call it sports washing now, that they say that these industries are somehow, you know, covering up their horrible environmental misdeeds. Well, you know what? None of this green stuff that everybody wants to do here, none of the batteries, none of the rewiring of the nation, none of the, you know, solar windmill thingies, none of the stuff that is required to do this green energy transition, which we are going great leap forward with is going to happen without, exactly. I mean that ironically, but you know, none of that can happen without, guess what? Mining. The stuff that Hancock digs out of the ground is necessary. The stuff that all of these companies dig out of the ground is absolutely necessary if you want to make the green stuff.
There is not a single hospital, there is not a single school in this country that isn't built on the money that came into this country through mining, through cattle, through the carbon-intensive industries, and we're seriously saying we're going to destroy these industries. We must have rocks in our head. These, as you say, Rita, these sports people have got to realise they're going to pay it. They're going to lose their jobs in the same way that people in mining are going to lose their jobs, in the same way that so many kids are not going to have a future if we go down this net zero madness. Well, these sports people have got to learn it as well.